Yeah, Jeff, we've got a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Benton County as well as southern Newton County right now. I've been talking about these storms for a few days, and they've developed in Illinois, and they're working east and southeastward. We can see those on precision right now. You see the orange box, that's a severe thunderstorm warning. Tornado warning just west of here in Iroquois County, Illinois. Now, as we head into the evening, still scattered storms that may organize into a cluster, and it still looks like isolated severe weather. But it is pouring rain on our Sagamore Parkway traffic cam. Pretty heavy rain on the east side of town, and we can kind of see where those storms are lining up right now. Clusters of really intense and abundant lightning all across the area. Now, even though the precipitation amount will be higher in our southern counties, I put the heavier snow band north because there's going to be a lot of sleet down in our south, so that will tend to chew up some of the snowfall accumulations. If it was all snow in our southern counties, it'd easily be a foot. You know, we started tracking this way back, boy, it was on Wednesday, and thought this might become kind of a big event, and it has certainly done so. Got strawberries we're picking right now. This is kale, romaine lettuce, broccoli. Hey, even how about one banana pepper? That looks really good. So we're having strawberry and ice cream day here at the TV station, but also chicken lettuce wrap day is coming up. Tonight the clouds increase. We go overcast, and by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, some snow in the area, perhaps a little sleet as well. That gets out of here by mid-morning. Here's the big storm to the west. Wave 1 is here, wave 2, and then wave 3 is the core of the system that's going to bring all this wintry mess. We've had bean beetle issues really bad. Notice how the leaves are all chewed up, and notice how much better they look. I actually let the gypsum weed go here. Bugs hate it, they stay away from it, and after letting some of it go, we're seeing the bug problems actually go down. And some of these milkweeds over here, it's going to attract native bees and butterflies that'll help pollinate. So I like leaving some of the weeds around, Jeff and Gina.
All right, Chad, find me a weed that deals with Japanese beetles, and you're on.
See what I can do about that.
Okay.
News 18, weather from where you live.
Well, on this date in 1870, Rensselaer hit with a very violent hailstorm, 3-inch diameter hail. That's larger than a baseball, and in the weather log reportedly fell in great quantities and masses at 5:30 in the evening, and it broke many windows. However, on a side note, at 11 o'clock that night as the skies cleared, beautiful aurora borealis in the sky and the weather log from that time. Tonight we're tracking storms. These are what we call multi-cells, but also supercell storms. They're individual. And the main threat with these has been large hail, hail large as baseballs near Chicago. And you can see how they're starting to kind of gel together and elongate a little bit. And the thinking is that as we get into the next few hours, these storms here will kind of bow out and gel into a line and slide through a chunk of the viewing area. We can see there's a severe thunderstorm watch in effect because of that issue by the Storm Prediction Center down in Norman. There's the viewing area, there's Lafayette, Logansport, and you can see these storms kind of elongating from South Bend all the way up to Chicago, and they're slowly sagging to the southeast. And these storms are about 10 miles from the Kankakee River, and I would say, boy, a good hour from Rensselaer in terms of distance. I think it's going to be 1 o'clock or after before these really start to make any headway in our viewing area. Now, the main threat with these in that 1 a.m. to 7 a.m. time frame will be severe straight-line wind gusts. But looking at the past data of these storms, up like northern Jasper County, Pulaski County, Fulton County, a large hail threat may linger for a little while longer as those come into the viewing area. And then we may actually get a little redevelopment tomorrow afternoon and evening along the actual cold front. Those look scattered, but there could be a couple severe wind-producing storms and perhaps a little bit of hail from those. And after mid-60s tonight, we'll be in the 80s tomorrow, 84 Peru, Logansport, a humid 85 Lafayette, even 87 at Covington, 85 at Romney. A little cooler Thursday, dry, a lot of sunshine, 70 Winnemac, but 75 Lafayette, 77 at Crawfordsville. High-res futurecast, let's track the storms tonight. That is 1 o'clock in the morning. You can see these kind of coming into our north. This is 3 o'clock in the morning. And finally, by 6 a.m., you can see what is defined as kind of a line of storms from Peru all the way back to Lafayette and Pine Village. And then by 7:30, they're pretty much Romney, Linden, eastward. It's not out of the question that our southwest counties miss out on most of the storms. and then a few more pop tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening along the actual cold front before we dry out and warm up, or actually cool off, then warm up once we get into Thursday and Friday. There's your severe threat for tonight. Straight line wind gusts, and then perhaps a couple hailers lingering in the north for a little while, and then tomorrow it's pretty much US 24 and southward for the afternoon and evening, and then that upper low could bring some storms once we get into next week, and it stays warm with highs in the 80s over the weekend and then pushing 90 by Tuesday, and really every day next week from Sunday night through Thursday. There are going to be scattered storms and at least potential of some being severe. The snow is widespread across the entire viewing area now. You can see that Lafayette, Kokomo, Attica, Covington, all in moderate snow Logansport, and it's finally started snowing in our far northern counties that were in Virgo, or snowfall that's evaporating before it hits the ground for a very long time. What's interesting though is the heaviest snow still down here. Notice how we're in that slightly lighter blue. This is very heavy snow down here in southern Indiana, and these are 1 to 2 inch per hour snowfall rates that are working northward. And another interesting thing is there is a tremendous amount of lift in this heavy snow down just south of here. And with the dynamics in place, as this moves in after 7 o'clock this evening, I would not rule out a clap of thunder or perhaps a flash of lightning when you get under these really heavy snow bands. And again, this is all working northward, so conditions are worsening now. They will really worsen rapidly as the snow rate increases after 7 p.m. Good news, though, is the center of the upper low is here. This is some dry air coming in. This is a little bit of a dry slot, so I think we'll have a lot of heavy snow this evening, and then overnight, early tomorrow morning, some of the dry air will punch into the system, and it'll tend to shut back the snowfall intensity in our area, and we may even see our southeastern counties shut off for a while snowfall-wise. But in the meantime, it's the winter storm now through the overnight, and it's going to continue till about noon tomorrow. There'll be some snow around in the morning and some snow up to noon. Winds 20 to 40 miles an hour during the snow tonight and even all day tomorrow. Even after the snow ends, it's still going to be a windy day with blowing and drifting. Of course, maybe an isolated clap of thunder or two this evening, and then we've got to watch the weekend. The potential does exist for another winter storm. We'll talk more about that shortly. This is 10:30 tonight. Banding features in the snow. We'll have bands of snow that have rates of 1 to 2 inches an hour, and still a lot of snow even at midnight. But I think as we get towards early tomorrow morning, there's 3. A little dry air is going to start to punch in, so you see the snow lightening up a little bit, and it may even shut off for a while down here in our southeastern counties. That's 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. Still some light snow around, and even around 11 or noon, a little bit of light snow around before it gets out of here. And then after that, we may see a peak or two of sun tomorrow afternoon and get at least some partial clearing tomorrow night, and then again on Friday and early Saturday before more snow comes in. Final snowfall totals by noon tomorrow. I think West Lafayette, Fowler, Kentland, Brookston, Monticello, up to about Logansport and Peru, 8 to 10 inches. And there will be some places that get isolated 10, 11, 12-inch amounts. Now, Rochester, Winnemac, up towards Morocco and Rensselaer, 6 to 8. Now, down towards Colfax, Frankfort, Kokomo, Attica, 6 to 8 inches. And then Crawfordsville, Covington, Lebanon, down towards Kirkland, about 4 to 6 as some of the dry air kind of cuts your totals off just a hair. This is the next system approaching us for the weekend. A little upper low here just southeast of the Gulf of Alaska, but a tremendous moisture plume from Hawaii will feed this thing. It'll round the bend and could bring significant snow to our area by the weekend. Right there it is. Keep an eye on that. Spinning here, and you can see the track of it. That's where it is by around Friday, developing to our west, and could bring some decent snow by the weekend. 7-day forecast. After that snow, 11 by Monday, but not before we drop to 12 below Friday morning.
All right, so we got that. It's a familiar pattern, a lot of snow followed by deep freeze.
Yeah, same thing, and it's going to last until mid-February.
All right, Chad, thanks.
Benton, White, Clinton, and other rural counties have long been known as agricultural leaders. And with growth of wind energy in these same areas, farming and harvesting of alternative energy are much more closely linked than you might think.
There definitely will be some positive influence that can be generated by these wind turbines.
Purdue professor of atmospheric science Ki-Hong Min has been leading a team of researchers to study the effects of wind turbines on local weather.
I think this was a good pilot study that our students actually steered up with their own ideas.
Purdue atmospheric science students Matt Rudkin and Brian Dukes did most of the field research working with farmers and property owners in Benton County. The team found interesting temperature changes underneath and downwind of the wind farms.
Well, we found out that the nighttime temperature actually stayed a little bit warmer inside the wind farm due to the mixing of the turbines.
We did this for 2 weeks, and on average we found there's a difference about 1 degree to 2 degrees inside the wind farm.
In early and late frosts, this could mean the difference between damaged and undamaged crops, which could save the local ag economy millions of dollars and help keep food prices down.
Colder air near the surface will be lifted up, warmer air above will be pushed downwards, and therefore you get a circulation, and that circulation would create a warming near the surface.
Farmers in California use the same principle to their advantage for frost prevention in winter to help save high-dollar crops. The Purdue research is still ongoing, but for now it appears they have found a byproduct of wind energy could actually be a blessing in disguise.
Especially in the late fall and early spring, when you get those nights right around 32 degrees, a degree or 2 difference inside a wind farm could make the difference between whether your crops do or don't see frost.
And with wind turbines coming to the Purdue Ag Farm in the near future, the team hopes to add to its research.
If we could get access to all the weather equipment on top of the turbines, we'd have many more devices and information and just a better look at the whole profile instead of just at ground level.
We are trying to pursue some other timing of the year. This was done during the fall, late fall period, so we're trying to see what's the influence during early spring and summer period.
Now, the team presented their groundbreaking research at the American Meteorological Society meeting in Seattle in January, but they want to take this a step further. They found that the turbines also dry the air out. So they're going to try to see if it dries the air out too much and if that's going to affect crops in a negative way. And, of course, as always, we're going to keep following this story, Jeff and Gina. Chief Meteorologist Chad Evans here, News Channel 18.